So, I've had to watch, because you could remotely log in because I'm a high-tech piece of shit. Or at least I was. Eric Good ruined, most of college. Most of my relatives did. They tortured me. Eric would fill me up and send me home. Because Oswego had lots of gambling. And the city turned pretty dark. It wasn't like fun gambling. It was fight to the death in the woods with, who knows who gambling. It was make Ellery pick two women to melt down in a bathtub and watch gambling. It was melt me down in a bathtub and watch gambling. So I didn't like talking about it or thinking about it. I didn't like having to listen to snuff pornography that they made in Oswego that was somehow made public. So this would be my roommates and their friends videotaping me, obviously, getting fucked to death in Oswego, New York. This is my version of a friend, okay? And apparently when the member of the fire department left, I was considered dead. But I was not dead. Now, if you think that it is only happening with adults when that is happening, it's not. And snuff pornography was happening with children all over upstate New York. It probably is now. Since apparently anyone in that video or part of that video invested in making it popular. So the sexual environment that I have been in has been that. Not only with children and with adults, but with me. And not watching on TV, but live. Have you ever watched a child shoot themselves in the head? The virtual torture of the system that they are using on kids now, which they will tell them it's God, literally is enough to make a child commit suicide. And the technology that I was using did not exist yet. So obviously someone at home wanted it. Especially if I was involved in the porn industry and a porn fed. Want to know especially why they didn't like that? Because I would not accept the amount of child pornography that is sold out in Arizona right now. And I did not accept the amount of child pornography that was sold in Maine. Not to mention the torture of children. But that's coming from a girl who was left in a mass grave in New Mexico. Because once they're done with you, they line you up and they leave you in a mass grave. Because you're trash. Someone who they kidnapped in the middle of the woods. And oh wait. The first situation was, look at her phone, she's not a prostitute. Nope. Look at the people she knows. Yep, just kidnapped. Anyway, I've been experimented on by the military most of my life, and I've been followed around by people who want to rip it off most of my life. I lay on the floor at my parents' house, dying, and I called no one at that point in my life. That's how much I believed you would help me. Yet you have moved to where I live, including at home. You have come to my door with a strap on. I didn't invite you over. You have talked to my friends. You've disconnected me from people I care about. And you've lied your faces off just like in college. Now, when my brother and his friends stole my cell phone in high school, I would find dead bodies of maggots in my trunk. Because they would send the most horrific messages to people. Something I was completely unaware of. So then was punished for. That's really awesome. Also, as far as human trafficking goes, Jamie from North Berwick, love the text messages, but we both know that you are the one that kidnapped me and brought me to Canada. So that's a little bit of a lie, but her boyfriend wants me to gain weight. So someone who left me in the snow after sexually assaulting me outside the Beepo in Oswego just to let me die. This is why I would literally walk around looking for frozen frat boys all the time. And homeless people. The one reason I mentioned the Maine Hermit is because I found him in the middle of the woods one winter, almost frozen to death. Someone had made sure to leave him like that. It's nice when somebody finds you. So, good voice samples. The shipyard, there were some really amazing moments, and then there are these moments where you are so disappointed and so ashamed of basically everything that's happened. Because you gave your life for a place that will rip out your insides for fun. And I had to be the hated one. Because I can be harassed from far away by women for years. Okay, I'm talking about when I got home, Pamela, the electrocutioners of children, said, "You're really careful around women, aren't you, Valerie?" I wanted to say, fuck yes. I like having friends, and I don't like them grouping together and beating me to death, which they've tried to do. Now, I don't know if it's a personality disorder, but getting used to someone like Little D coming in and threatening to kill me, and leaving, and coming back, and being fine, but they're always being a threat, and never wanting to include me, and getting off on it. Two tones, those guys had two different tones all the time. And caring about her so much that when she couldn't take her hands off the steering wheels, that steering wheel I wanted to show up. But better she than me, right? And then I know someone's shopping around for other kids on Facebook, so I unfriend you. Because hopefully you care about your children as much as I did. But my cousin Jamie can't even let me enjoy going to the Empire State Building. Neither can Sarah. Because my family has never liked me. And they have really made a fun game out of it. Of course, development of the brain. Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? And how hard people work? If you go up Maine, you will find people who have been viciously tortured, probably James's friends. Or just a group of men and women that keep this town confined and destroy them on a regular basis. These people aren't allowed to learn. But if they were, and they went somewhere with that, wouldn't that be so amazing? To actually be allowed to see how far you could go. I have never been allowed to. And when I was, wow. I missed out on my entire life. Because A, you feel the need to be able to do whatever you want and edit it out. Want to know when I learned about editing? 4 years ago. Until then, it was drinking. It's me. That's why I can't remember 90% of my life. And when I did, I felt like a whole person. Like an actual person. I was too skinny. Like literally, I have had to wear a bodysuit. This is a mental illness, okay? Because if you have to put a tube down someone's throat and fatten them up with lard, or rip open their insides, or slow down their metabolism, or you do anything medical to another person because you don't like the way that they look, that is a problem. Because you want to make sure I can't walk, run, or fight back. You know, I couldn't breathe in high school. I didn't smoke a single cigarette. But I would faint. Because they made sure I couldn't lift my feet off the ground. And now they're across the street harassing me constantly. I'm afraid to leave my house. I'm afraid to go to sleep because I'm literally grown. I love that Dana came up to me at the gas station and said, "You survived a rape cult." And I'm like, I don't want to do that again. Because not only does rape hurt your mental health, your physical health, but your body is broken down by some douchebag's need. And it's not just sex, it's rape. And the guys that are doing it in Tucson aren't raping you. They're fucking you to death. And it is wrong. The guy who's been following me around, Jeffers, has put a granite slab on my chest. Just because he can. I ended up at a torture center, but so did he. Because so many times the torture artists follow around their victims. You want me to say something? Oh, yeah. He's listening right now. My phone is bugged. But no one's going to help me. Everyone's going to watch. It's not a character study. Or he's going to kidnap me and leave me in the woods. Or a stone church. In New York City, to initiate, they would give women HIV to ruin their sex lives. So thank you for making sure I lose my protection so someone like that can go to town on me. And you reinstitute. I didn't want to. I never would have lived at home again. I did not have a choice. I didn't even get a real voter's ballot. But I've been abused by a strip club for most of my life, so I'm disgusting. And Eric Good, the shocker, who has made me feel disgusting most of my life. Imagine massive electrocution for a long periods of time. No digestion. Finally, my body fit together because I didn't have any bacterial infections that they give you or anything. Viral collectors. And literally, they predicted that they would freak out and try to kill me because it would show how much I was abused in high school. Send me to school drunk. So they didn't start the gay leaderboard. That was a good one. I mean, I'm so glad Emily was a Wi-Fi monitor. Someone I've known since I was a child, who's made fun of me my entire life. And I see a man who kidnapped me in Italy. I didn't do anything. Who cares, right? You guys didn't. He's back. And Jason Garneau, who's done some epically cruel things to me. You know how high up in the government he is. I didn't know how low he could go, though.